Okay, so our spreadsheet's starting to come together a little better in a way that we can see it and interact with it better. But I do want to go over a couple more things yet that will help us to know what we're looking at and to be able to see it and interact with it a little bit easier in a way that makes a little more sense. So one thing that you'll notice when you just put in like copy and paste information into Google Sheets, or maybe you're typing it in yourself, you'll start to notice where you'll have issues sometimes with the sizing of your headings or your information, the words or the numbers not actually fitting within the cell. So a good example of this is this cases per 1 million people up here. You'll notice that if I click on it, I can see that it says cases per 1M people, but in the actual cell C, you can't read all of it. So if we didn't know what we were looking at to begin with, we'd have to click on it in order to be able to see that. And there, I believe there's probably, so you'll see there's also some countries down here, right? So number 48, if I click on it, this is the Dominican Republic. Now, I may be able to, you know, assume that based on looking at the beginning of it, but I can't see the whole thing. There's probably even more down here that are like that. For example, this one, Democratic Republic, we don't even know what that is. If we click on it, it says Democratic Republic of the Congo. Now, there's an easy way to resize all of our rows or columns in order to show all of the data and make sure that it fits to the right size within the cells. Now, you can select entire rows or entire columns at a time. Now, when I say rows, what I mean is left to right, right to left, horizontal. Columns are these, A, B, C, D, E. They're up and down. So columns up and down, row is side to side. Rows are numbered, columns are lettered. All right. Now, if I want to select an entire column, I can simply, we'll click on column A here. I can simply click on this area up here where it says A, and I have now selected an entire column. Now, the way that I format this column in order to make sure that I don't have anything hidden like you're seeing in these right here is I'm going to go to, I'm going to hover over the cell. You see this hand that hovers over the cell. I'm going to right click. When I right click, you're going to get this list of options. Now, we're not going to worry about most of these just yet, but what we're looking for is this one right here. It says resize column. We're going to click on resize column. Now, what this is going to tell you is what your pixel size is right now. Now, what we're talking about is the size of the column side to side. Currently, it's at 100 pixels. What we want to do is click Fit to Data here. Now, when we select that and we hit OK, watch what the column does. You see how the column widened out like that? Now, it may appear like they're giving us too much space here, but if we go down to some of these other ones, you're going to see this long one, Democratic Republic of Congo. Now, that one is fit to there. So now, anywhere we scroll on here, we're going to see all of the information, so we're not missing any of it. Now, we can do that with our other columns as well. So let's say, remember this one, this heading was even cut off. So there are two ways we can do this. We can do the right click method, or we can resize the column. Another way we can do this is if we simply hover our cursor over an edge of a column. Now, this is true of rows as well. If I'm right in here, you'll be able to see it, how it does that. And we can actually click and drag that out. Okay? We can drag back and forth. We can make it even narrower if we want. Now, if we want every single cell to be exactly fit perfectly, the easiest way to do it is simply to do the method of right-clicking, resizing, fit to data, and there we go. All right. Now, we can also select multiple columns at the same time. So let's say we hadn't resized any of them yet and we wanted all of them to be fit to data. We can click and hold and then drag from A to E. The same way we would select cells like this. We can click here and drag over. You see how they're all highlighted? That means they're all selected. And now we can right click. We can say resize columns A through E. And if you notice, we have columns A, B, C, D, and E selected. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to say fit to data. Okay. And now you'll notice some of these got narrower. Now they got narrower because none of the data fills up nearly as much space as some of the other ones. How you choose to size your columns, if you want them all to be the same width, if you want them to all be fit to data, that's up to you when you're creating a table. I would encourage anyone that's ever making a table to make it in such a way that it makes sense to viewing the information and understanding what you're looking at. So that's just a quick tutorial on how you can format your column and row sizes in order to make sure that you don't have any information hidden behind the edges of the columns.